Hello everyone, Star Baby Homestead here. So on my last video, which was pretty popular, I was really glad for those of you that subscribed. Thank you so much for the likes and the shares. On that video, I talked about the rigors of gardening, and what people don't talk about is the painstakingly growing all these plants from seed and watching them grow like your children, only for like a caterpillar or a deer to completely behead them. It's a lot of emotional work. It's a lot of physical work. So on this video, I want to actually tell you what's so wonderful about gardening so that you don't get put off from it. Gardening is such a wonderful lifestyle, and it's amazing for your health and your well-being. Why? Because it involves everything that is good. It involves nature, and nature is what we need to start getting back to. I don't know about you, but I've already done my stint in corporate America, and I'm still a desk jockey, but at least half my time being spent being a desk jockey is being offset by the amount of time that I spend out in nature. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We weren't meant to be in a cubed, air conditioned space for hours on end sitting so that our bodies start to stagnate. And then we eat these fast foods and all these processed foods because they're quick and easy because we're always on the run when we should be eating the fruits of the field. So on this video, I want to talk to you about why it's so amazing to garden. I'm going to start with the first one. And the first one is functional movement. When you get off that desk or off the couch or wherever you are in life, you're outside, you're bending, you're lifting, you're walking back and forth. This is functional movement. This is what you need just to live, is to move around and not be stagnant. You don't have to go to the gym and do all this weightlifting. If you're a gardener like I garden, you're moving bales of things around. You've got bales of straw. You've got your wheelbarrows, and they are full of like dirt and vegetables and waste to go to the compost. And you're using your muscles, and you're moving all of this stagnant fluid that you may be just sitting in when you're at your desk. So gardening is a perfect way for when you are done sitting at your desk is to come home and get some of that movement in. It's just like taking a walk in nature. Also, you're out here putting your hands in the soil. There's so many wonderful microbes that are in the soil that we need. I firmly believe when kids stopped going outside to play, climbing trees, splashing around in puddles, making mud pies, is when a lot of them started developing all of these sort of weird and random sicknesses that seem to have to be cured. Now, I don't want to get into the argument of, vaccines and all of this other stuff. That is a whole nother thing that we can talk about. But getting your kids out, your family, yourself out in nature, that is so good for your health. It's essential for your health to help combat viruses and bacteria that you get from being in these closed spaces where humans live. And then you add some sort of weird microbe from some vegetables across the sea. And what do we get? We get explosive diarrhea. So that's my other point that I want to talk about when growing your own food. So I am filming this during a time when we are experiencing some sort of pathogen that has come from lettuce grown in Mexico through Taylor Farms lettuce. Now, I don't know about you, but I've eaten my share of Taylor Farms like bag salads when I didn't have salads or lettuce on at the garden, and a quick way to eat. And when you grow your own, when you go out to the garden and you dig around and you get to come out and pick your own cucumbers, you go out to the garden, you pick your own food. You know what is on this. There's no mystery to it. You've either, bought some soil. Hopefully you get to a point where you can make your own compost. You've bought some seeds, and they're not going to carry something strange because you've grown them in your own soil on your own terms. So you know that there's not a pathogen on there that's going to make you sick. And there's nothing more rewarding. There's nothing more rewarding than to come to your own plant and to pick your own produce. Look at these peppers. Look at these beautiful peppers that are going to cost you, what is it? Well, $1.99, $2.99 a pound at the grocery store. I know what's on these peppers because I grew them. I know they haven't been sprayed with anything strange, because if I choose to spray them, I know what I've sprayed them with. Look at these peppers here. Look how healthy they are. Look at these watermelon that I have growing. I know I chose the seeds. I know what type of watermelon this is. It's a sugar baby, by the way. But I know what type of watermelon this is. I'm not going to the store and picking up some random watermelon from the grocery store, because I know what I want to put into my body. I know what I want to feed my family. You have choice when you garden. And when you go to the grocery store, you're just choosing from some tomatoes that are barely ripe, or they've been in a hot house. Look at these tomatoes here. These tomatoes are from my garden that I have grown. Look how beautiful they are. Perfectly round, ripening on the vine. I need to pull these, by the way. They're a little bit too ripe to be on the vine. The birds are going to get to them. But I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm getting. I can come out here and pick them. And I'm not worried about getting some sort of weird pathogen that's going to make me sick. So that's another reason why you should be gardening, is that you know what it is that you're going to get when you're gardening. And that's vegetables that you have grown by hand and flowers that you have picked. They're not sourced from someplace. My third reason why you should be gardening is the sense of accomplishment that you get. When you grow these plants up from seed, and then you put them in the garden and you nurture them and you grow them, and you're able to go out and pick these vegetables, and then you take them into your home and you cut them up and you cook them and process them, and you nourish your own body with the plants that you have nourished. It's this beautiful cycle of creativity that you are taking part of. You're being a creative being by growing and feeding yourself and your family these wonderful fruits and vegetables that you have grown yourself. Also, if you give back to your community like I do, I like to barter with my neighbors. And it's not even bartering. It's just like, hey, do you have some eggs? Would you like some squash? We trade all the time. And at the same time, we help each other with like mowing each other's lawn if your lawnmower breaks, or if you need a part for or a tool for a car. That sense of community, you're all brought together through the power of growing and just giving food to others. That's a beautiful way to give back. These days, when you give your money to a charity, you have no idea where that a lot of that money is going. There are some reputable charities, but it's still, how do you actually know where it's going? And this way, when you're giving fruits and vegetables to your neighbors, whether they need it or not, it's this wonderful bonding experience. And trust me, there's someone in your neighborhood who probably needs food. My husband's working on getting me a box. No one in this neighborhood probably needs it, but we all grow different things. But if there's someone who's ever in need, if I have excess vegetables, they can always just drive by and pick them up out of our honesty box. If they want to donate, they can. If not, it doesn't matter, because I'm still growing things. So to me, that's my way of giving back, because again, I don't know where my money's going sometimes, but we give out of faith that we're doing something well for the community. And being part of a community garden, or gardening for yourself, and having a working relationship with your neighbors and your community, is a wonderful thing that you can do as a gardener. So those are my reasons why you should be gardening. I mean, you should have been gardening yesterday. Please like and subscribe this channel if this video has been helpful. Stay tuned for my video on how to get started gardening. It's not as hard as you think. And actually, you don't even need a lot to start gardening. You don't need acreage. You don't need like tons of grow lights and all of these gadgets. That in itself can seem very intimidating. All you need is some soil, a container, and some seeds, and you can get started growing your own food. Be well, be blessed, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.